All right, in this video, I want to look at an example of MLA style in action in a paper, mainly so you can see the relationship between the in-text citations that are happening throughout the body of the essay and the works cited page full citations and what the relationship is between those two elements. So let's go take a look at the sample essay. Okay, so here is a sample of a student research paper formatted according to MLA style, and it uses signal phrases and in-text citations throughout the essay that refer to the works cited page. And I want to show you the relationship between those two things, the signal phrases, or sorry, three things, the signal phrases, the in-text citations, and the works cited page, okay? So the first source that they introduce is right here, and it is a 2005 study by the American Management Association and E-Policy Institute. So it seems like from the way they're describing it that it has no single author. It's put out by this institute. So that's why there's no like person's name here saying like by so-and-so, okay? So they introduce the source there in that signal phrase. Then they paraphrase the information here that they want to pull out of that source. And then they use an in-text citation here to tell us that this information appeared on the first page of this study, this document that's a study, okay? Then if we move down, let's see. Oh, they introduce this book here. They do a formal introduction of the book. It's called The Naked Employee. It's by Frederick Lane. And then from then on, they can reference Lane by last name only, and we'll know that they're referring to his book. They're summarizing Lane here, and then they go into this long quote, and it ends with a in-text citation here on page 3 and 4. So that this quote appeared on page 3 and 4 of Lane's book. And in the in-text citation, they don't include Lane's name down here in the in-text citation because they already mentioned that the quote is coming from Lane using that signal phrase above, okay? And the other thing about this quote is, yeah, when you're using a quote that's longer, that takes, like when you type it into your document, it takes up more than 4 lines of your document, then you need to, you block it. You set it off from the rest of the text by indenting it. You'll notice there's no quotation marks around it here. It's preceded by this colon. So yeah, long quotes work a little bit differently, and the Purdue website shows you how to do that. And then let's look at one more. Oh, okay. So here, here they are referencing a quote. Here's a direct quote from Daniel Timon. Here's his article. It was, he's a columnist for PC World, which I think is probably a magazine. So they introduced him, and then they have a quote here, a direct quotation in quotation marks. And there's no in-text citation here because we already know who the author is. It was Tynan. And I bet that source doesn't have a page number to be referenced. It's an electronic source, and there was no page number, okay? And then down here, this one is sort of interesting to look at because the author's name where this information came from is just referenced right here simply in the in-text citation. I'm assuming, again, that this source had no page numbers, and they just paraphrase what Flynn had to say and just give him credit by sticking his name in the in-text citation. So it's kind of like a more simple way to reference the author's reference the author that they're referring to. Okay, so let's skip down and look at the works cited page, okay? Okay, so here looking at her works cited page, we can see here's that first source that we looked at, the American Management Association and E-Policy Institute. So the signal phrases and the in-text citations that we looked at in the body of the paper are referencing this full citation. Okay, here's Flynn from that in-text citation that we just looked at. That's Nancy Flynn. Here's the information for her full source. Let's see. Here's the Lane's full works cited page citation. All right, and let's see, anybody else? Tynan. Here we have Tynan. Okay, so all their sources are listed here in alphabetical order by the first word that appears in the citation. Okay, and so I hope looking at the paper illustrated to you that the in-text citations in the body of the paper are connected or related to what's happening and the entries on the works cited page. So the idea is that in academic writing, we've all done this research, we've incorporated into our paper, and as someone's reading through our paper, they might be like, huh, that's a really interesting source, I want to go read it, right? And so what they can do is go down to your works cited page, find the source that was referenced in the body of the paper, and then it gives all of the information they need to go find that source. So it usually includes the author's name, if an author is identified, the full title, if it's an article from a magazine or a newspaper, the newspaper the title of the magazine or newspaper is referenced, the date it was published, all of that stuff is there to make it easy for you to go and find the source. So I hope that clarifies the functionality of the relationship between the in-text citations and the works cited page. Okay?